Before we dive into today's eye-opening video, hit that subscribe button and give us a like. Sharing this video will help spread the word about this crucial issue. Now let's get started. Think about your smartphone. It's a marvel. A sleek piece of technology that fits in your pocket, yet connects you to the entire world. Streaming videos, lightning-fast games, and video calls across continents. It's like having a supercomputer in your hand, capable of performing unimaginable tasks just a few decades ago. But what if I told you this technological marvel relies on materials controlled by a global superpower? Elements like gallium and germanium are crucial for the production of semiconductors. Not just any superpower, but one increasingly at odds with the West. The geopolitical landscape is shifting, and technology is at the heart of this new battleground. We're talking about China and its grip on gallium and germanium. These elements might sound obscure, but they are the lifeblood of modern electronics. These elements, obscure to most, are essential for the chips powering our digital lives. From your smartphone to your laptop and even the servers that run the internet, all rely on these critical materials. China, producing over 80% of the world's supply, just made a power play. By controlling these resources, they hold significant leverage over the global tech industry. They've restricted exports, sending shockwaves through the tech world. This move has caused tech stocks to fluctuate wildly, and companies are scrambling to find alternative sources. This isn't just about slower phones or pricier laptops. It's about control. Control over the supply chain, and ultimately, control over the future of technology. Control over the building blocks of our digital age. These tiny components are the foundation of everything from consumer electronics to advanced military systems. Control that could reshape the global landscape for years to come. The ripple effects of this decision will be felt across industries and borders, influencing everything from economic policies to international relations. Buckle up, folks, because the tech world just got a whole lot more interesting. As this tech Cold War heats up, the stakes are higher than ever, and the outcome is anything but certain. Okay, so we've established that China holds the cards when it comes to gallium and germanium. But why? What makes these metals so special? In simple terms, they're the secret sauce in a whole lot of tech. Gallium, for instance, is a key ingredient in semiconductors. These tiny chips are the brains of our devices, from smartphones and laptops to cars and even refrigerators. You want 5G speeds? Thank gallium. High-performance gaming? Gallium again. Germanium plays a crucial role too. It's used in fibre optic cables, the backbone of our internet. It's also vital for infrared technology, found in everything from night vision goggles to medical imaging. China's dominance in producing these metals gives them enormous leverage. They essentially control the flow of essential ingredients for the tech that powers our modern world. Now, why would China suddenly restrict these crucial exports? Well, it's not a bolt from the blue. It's more like a calculated move in a high-stakes chess match. And the US made the first move. Remember when the US started restricting China's access to advanced computer chips? They claimed it was about national security, but it also choked off China's tech ambitions. China, as you might imagine, wasn't thrilled. This export restriction on gallium and germanium, it's a shot across the bow. A reminder that China has its own set of cards to play, and they're not afraid to use them. This is about more than just metals. It's about who gets to call the shots in the future of technology. So, China throws down the gauntlet, restricting these critical metals. What happens next? Well, picture a global game of Jenga. Remove a few key blocks and the whole tower starts to wobble. That's what's happening to the tech supply chain right now. Companies that rely on these metals, from chip manufacturers to electronics giants, are scrambling. They're desperately searching for alternative sources, but it's not that easy. Building new mines and refineries takes time, money, and a whole lot of environmental permits. What happens when demand outstrips supply? You guessed it. Prices go up. And not just a little. We're talking about potentially significant price hikes on everything from smartphones and laptops to cars and solar panels. Your next tech upgrade? Yeah, it just got a whole lot more expensive. Winners and losers from Seoul to Silicon Valley. This metal showdown has created clear winners and losers. The global tech industry is in a state of flux, with some players emerging stronger while others struggle to keep up. On the winning side, we have countries like South Korea and Japan. These nations have long been at the forefront of technological innovation, and their foresight is paying off. They've been investing in alternative materials and technologies for years, anticipating this very situation. Their proactive approach has positioned them as leaders in the tech world, ready to tackle the challenges of a shifting market. Then there are the mining companies outside of China. These companies, often overlooked in the past, are now finding themselves in the spotlight. They're suddenly sitting on a gold mine, literally. The demand for rare earth metals and other critical minerals has surged, and these companies are reaping the benefits. Demand for their products is skyrocketing, and they're in a prime position to capitalize. With the global supply chain in turmoil, these mining companies are becoming indispensable. But for every winner, there's a loser. The ripple effects of this metal showdown are being felt across the globe, and not everyone is coming out on top. And in this case, it's the companies and consumers reliant on Chinese metals. The tech giants who have built their empires on the back of Chinese manufacturing are now facing unprecedented challenges. Tech giants, especially those heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing, are feeling the heat. The disruption in the supply chain has led to delays, increased costs, and a scramble to find alternative sources. And let's not forget about the average consumer. The impact of these geopolitical tensions trickles down to us, the end users of technology. We're the ones who ultimately foot the bill for these geopolitical games, facing higher prices and potentially limited access to the tech we've come to depend on. As the cost of raw materials rises, so too does the price of our favorite gadgets. The smartphones, laptops, and other devices we rely on daily are becoming more expensive, and in some cases, harder to find. This new reality forces us to reconsider our relationship with technology and the global forces that shape it. Future tech. Divided we stand, or innovate we must. So, what does the future hold? Will we see a world divided by technology, with the West and China going their separate ways? Or will this crisis spark a new era of innovation, forcing us to find alternatives and reduce our reliance on these critical metals? The reality is likely a bit of both. We'll see increased competition and a push for technological independence. The US and its allies will likely invest heavily in domestic production and research into alternative materials. But this crisis also presents an opportunity. It's a chance to rethink our relationship with technology, to prioritize sustainability and ethical sourcing. Your phone, your choice, the power of the consumer. You might be thinking, this is all well and good, John, but what can I do about it? I'm just one person. And you'd be right, you're just one person. But guess what? So is everyone else. Every time you buy a new phone, every time you upgrade your laptop, you're casting a vote. You're supporting the companies and the practices that go into making those devices. And those choices have power. Imagine if consumers started demanding more sustainable, ethically sourced tech. Imagine if we were willing to hold companies accountable for their supply chains. That kind of collective action could shift the entire industry. Beyond the screen, a call to action. In today's world, technology is an integral part of our lives. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to bed, we are surrounded by devices that make our lives easier and more connected. But have you ever stopped to think about the impact of these devices on our planet and society? So, what can you do? First, get informed. Knowledge is power, and the more you know about the companies you support, the better choices you can make. Start by researching the practices of the tech companies you buy from. Are they transparent about their sourcing? Do they prioritize fair labor practices and environmental sustainability? Learn about the companies you're buying from and their practices. There are numerous resources available online that can help you understand which companies are leading the way in ethical tech and which ones are falling behind. Websites, apps, and articles can provide valuable insights into the ethical ratings of tech companies. Support companies that prioritize ethical sourcing and sustainability. When you choose to buy from companies that are committed to responsible practices, you are sending a powerful message. Your purchasing decisions can drive change and encourage more companies to adopt ethical practices. Second, think twice before you upgrade. In a world where new gadgets are constantly being released, it's easy to feel the pressure to always have the latest and greatest. But before you make that purchase, ask yourself if you really need it. Do you need the latest and greatest gadget? Or can your current device last a little longer? Often, Our current devices are more than capable of meeting our needs. By extending the life of your gadgets, you can reduce electronic waste and lessen the demand for new resources. Every phone we don't buy is a small victory for ethical tech. It's a step towards a more sustainable future where we value longevity and responsibility over constant consumption. Finally, make your voice heard. Advocacy is a powerful tool for change. By speaking up and demanding better practices, you can influence policies and corporate behaviors. Contact your elected officials and demand policies that promote responsible tech manufacturing. Write letters, sign petitions, and participate in community meetings. Your voice matters, and when we come together, we can create a significant impact. This isn't just about gallium and germanium. It's about the broader picture of how we produce and consume technology. It's about taking control of our technological future. We have the power to shape the direction of innovation and ensure that it aligns with our values. It's about building a world where innovation goes hand in hand with responsibility, where every new advancement is made with consideration for its impact on people and the planet. It's about recognizing that the choices we make, even small ones, have the power to shape the world around us. Every action counts, and together we can create a future where technology serves the greater good.